Hello everybody. Our second lesson is about comparatives and superlatives of adjectives and expressing similarities and differences. It is within the third unit of scientific streams, which is astronomy and the solar system. Comparatives and superlatives. Comparatives of adjectives are used to compare nouns to another noun. Superlative adjectives are utilized when comparing three or more things, persons, and places. It means more than two. Now, let's deal with comparative of adjectives. Whenever we compare between two things, we have to bear in mind three things that are superiority, equality, and inferiority. Superiority. When we have short adjectives, it means a one-syllable adjective, like large, small, good, not good, but large and small and so on. We have to use the following rule. Adjective plus er plus than. For example, Neptune has a larger orbit than Mars. Here we are comparing between two planets, which are Mars and Neptune, and we are taking into consideration the adjective which is large. Here we used large, which is adjective plus er, and then larger than. When the adjective is long, it means it is more than one syllable, two or three and so on. We have to use more plus adjective plus than. For example, Mars is more distant from the Sun than Mercury. Here we use more plus the adjective, which is long adjective plus than, more distant than. The two things that we are comparing between are equal. We have to use as an adjective, be it long or short, and as. For example, your computer is as expensive as mine. Here we use the form which is as plus the adjective which is expensive and as. Now let's go to inferiority. In inferiority, we have to use less plus the adjective, be it long or short, and then. For example, this light is less intense than that of the sun. Here too, we use less plus the adjective which is intense and then. Comparatives of adverbs. Here I'm going to tell you that adverbs can be used like adjectives when we are comparing between things. Three examples are to be given here, which are: more distant planets move more slowly than those that are close to the sun. Second one, more distant planets travel less quickly. And the last one, more distant planets don't travel as quickly as the ones which are close to the sun. In these three sentences, we used more slowly than, more plus the adverb which is slowly plus than. In the second one, we used less plus the adverb quickly. Then we used as and the adverb quickly and as. Superlative of adjectives. In superlatives, we are comparing, as I told you, between more than two things. When dealing with superlatives, we have only two possibilities. We have either superiority or inferiority. In superiority, we have long adjectives. When we have long adjectives, we use the most plus the adjective. For instance, Jupiter is the most beautiful planet in our solar system. Here we use the most plus the adjective which is beautiful. When the adjective is short one, instead of using most, we use the plus adjective plus est. For instance, Mercury is the hottest planet in our solar system. Here again we use the hot plus est. Now let's go to inferiority. In inferiority, we use the least plus the adjective. For instance, this is the least interesting movie in the year or of the year. The least plus the adjective which is interesting. We sometimes have irregular adjectives that have nothing to do with the rules that we were talking about. It means they are going to change completely. The three most common ones are good, bad, and far. As far as comparative is concerned, good is going to turn to better. Bad will be transformed into worse. And far is going to become farther or further. Now let's talk about superlative. Good is going to become the best. Bad, we turn to the worst, and far will become the farthest or the furthest. Now, let's move on to similarities and differences. Similarities. When two things are similar, we can express similarity, or when two things are similar, we can use one of the following words. The same, similar to, like, resemble, as, likewise, both, and as, adjective, as, that we have seen before. All the planets are moving in the same direction. The way they move is so similar. Here, the words that are highlighted in red are the same and similar. They are utilized in order to express similarity between the planets in terms of the movement, of their movement, or the way they move around the sun. Venus is a planet and Mars is a planet. Here we are talking about two things that are similar. We can use them or join them to get only one sentence, and then we are going to get the following. Both Venus and Mars are planets. Here we use both and. Like Venus, Mars is a planet. It means Mars is a planet like Venus. Venus is a planet too. Now let's go to another example. In this example we have two phrases, or two different phrases. I like astronomy, I like physics. After turning them into only one sentence, we can get only one, which is I like both astronomy and physics. Here too we used both and, or I like astronomy and physics simply. And the last one, or the last example to be given, is about as, adjective as, that was previously explained. Venus orbits as slowly as Mars. Here we are talking about the motion of the two planets that we are referring to here, that are Mars and Venus, and that they are turning around the sun, for example, they are turning around the sun slowly or too slowly. Now, let's go to differences. In order to express differences, we can, or if we want to express differences, we can use or utilize one of the following words that are unlike, but, on the contrary, by contrast, in contrast to, however, whereas, while, differ from, different from, not as, adjective as. I have chosen only a few examples to explain and to show you how to use them. The first one is the sun is a star and Jupiter is a star. Here I'm showing you that the sun is a star is something and that Jupiter is something else. They are not similar, they are different. Now, after joining them and getting one sentence, we can say, unlike the sun, Jupiter is a planet. Unlike is the opposite of like. It means it is not like the sun, it is a planet, and the sun is something else. Second one, which is, in contrast to the sun, Jupiter is a planet. It has the same meaning here. Now, the sun is a star, but Jupiter is a planet. It's similar, and the sun differs from Jupiter, or the sun is different from Jupiter. In all these sentences, we express differences differently. Now, let's go to another example, and the last one, before finishing our lesson. An astronomer is an expert in astronomy, and an astronomer is a person who predicts future by studying stars and planets. Now we can find that an astronomer and an astrologist are two persons that are different from each other. They are apart. Now an astronomer is an expert in astronomy, while an astrologist is a person who predicts future by studying stars and planets. We can also say an astronomer is an expert in astronomy, whereas an astrologist is a person who predicts future by studying stars and planets. Or an astronomer is an expert in astronomy, however, an astrologist is a person who predicts future by studying stars and planets. By the end, it's important to finish with a task. In this task, we are supposed to use an appropriate connector to express either similarity or difference. The connectors that we do have here are like, both, and, similar to, unlike, and whereas. In the first sentence, we have a star is a fixed luminous body which is remote from the Earth. A shooting star is a small piece of rock that hits Earth's atmosphere from space. The second one, space, seasonal flu, coronavirus is contagious before symptoms develop. And the last one, life in the city. Village life is so simple and relaxing. And the last one, eating junk food, smoking are harmful habits. I'm going to give you 15 minutes to do it, and I will be back.
Too much.
Yeah, because of anxiety instead of saying.
Okay, correct.
Well, let's correct it together. In the first piece, we have we have whereas. In the second space, we have like. In the third one, we have unlike, and the last one, we have both and. Let's go back to our exercise. A star is a fixed luminous body which is remote from Earth, whereas a shooting star is a small piece of rock that hits Earth's atmosphere from space. Here we see that a shooting star and a star are two different things. They are not alike. In second one, like seasonal flu, coronavirus is contagious before symptoms develop. They are similar in terms of these symptoms and so on. The third one, unlike life in the city, village life is so simple and relaxing. We all know that life in city is something, and life in village is something else. They are not alike too. So this is why we use the unlike. And the last one, both eating junk food and smoking are harmful habits. Here we have eating junk food is a harmful, it is bad for us, and smoking is harmful too. So we utilize here both, and both eating junk food and smoking are harmful habits. Thank you so much for your kind attention. See you later.